In November 2016, the European Commission published a package of proposals for the reform of the banking system in order to complete the European post-crisis regulatory reforms. This package covered risk reduction measures that allow further progress in completing the banking union and the capital markets union, and implemented some outstanding elements that are essential to make the financial system more resilient and stable. In this context, in June 2019, the European Parliament and the Council published the Regulation EU 2019-176, or CRR II, amending the CRR and including, among others, the following aspects. Leverage ratio. This reform introduces a minimum binding LR requirement for all institutions subjected to the CRR, set at 3% of the Tier 1 as a percentage of the total exposure measure, and an additional LR buffer for global systemically important institutions. Net stable funding ratio. This reform introduces amendments on, among others, the exception to individual and consolidated application of liquidity requirements. Capital base. This reform specifies that institutions should not deduct from the CET1 the intangible software assets prudently valued, even though not negatively affected by resolution, insolvency, or liquidation of the institution legitimate. Credit risk. This reform introduces amendments regarding massive disposals, pension and salary-backed loans, and SME factor. Market risk. This reform includes a reporting requirement that requires institutions shall report for all their trading book positions and all their non-trading book positions that are subject to foreign exchange or commodity risks, the results of the calculation based on using the alternative standardized approach. MREL. This reform implements the TLAC standard published by the FSB by introducing a minimum Pillar 1 MREL requirement in the CRR and amends the existing MREL requirement in the BRRD, the Pillar 2 MREL requirement, to be aligned with the TLAC standard. Other aspects. This reform also includes other amendments in relation to financial and mixed holding companies, large exposures, reporting, disclosure, exposure to central counterparties, exposure to collective investment undertakings CIUs, and etc.